I welcome you to the new era of Toro. What started with their 4000 series Toro Z Master has now transformed to their Toro Titan Max, the very last addition to this new era. Toro keeps it pretty simple. They've got three different styles of mowers. They have a Toro Time Cutter, a Toro Titan, and then the Toro Z Master. Now we're gonna talk about each of those different classes of mowers. Let's start right here at this Toro Time Cutter Max. This is a class of mower, the Toro Time Cutter series, that I would say is a mower that's gonna last anywhere from 500 to 1,000 hours. That's really important that you know that, and I consider this a baseline residential machine. These are machines that you could see at Lowe's, Home Depot, these big box stores, and you're gonna see them at dealers as well. This is Toro's absolute bread and butter, the most popular mower that they sell, the Toro Time Cutter 50-inch. So last year they came out with this Toro Time Cutter Max. What does that really mean? Well, before they only had what they called a Time Cutter series, and they all had very similar framing to what you see here. Now, 42-inch mowers and smaller are gonna carry the exact same frame, and they're gonna continue that name of Toro Time Cutter. But what have they done different in this Max series? A number of different things. So if you notice here, I can't access the deck on the Toro Time Cutter, but now on the Max, I can. And so this makes changing your belt, a lot of other things, very easy. You're gonna notice a lot of other kind of more industrial type components. So right here, I do like that they've got a floating deck here with a chain. And this makes it so that even a big guy like myself, I'm 6'8" by the way, I can actually stand on this deck, not something I could do before. The deck hanging system was very different. Another thing that I really like that Toro's doing on the Time Cutter Max series is there is a foot pedal to move the deck up and down in every single case, along with this magnetic pin. So what I can do is float this deck up and down. You know, maybe it's the kids leaving something on the ground, or I don't want a scalp coming into a ditch. It's really nice to have the ability to raise that up. And then the system, with it being magnetic, I just really like the ease of how that works. Another thing that upgraded this year is these arms are now completely adjustable. I can unscrew this and move this, you know, to any degree that I want. One thing that was a little bit of a nuisance in the last series of Time Cutters is when you would turn the key and bring this in, you'd hear an electric sound, and that was an electric parking brake. Well, now they've changed it to a mechanical parking brake, and I think we're gonna see far less issues in my shop, because I'll admit it was something that I was seeing, you know, kind of time and time again. Sorry if you got one of the models with the parking brake. You know, some people don't have an issue with that electric parking brake. Some people definitely have. So other things that are new with this Toro Time Cutter Max is this seat. Now, I wasn't sure. I wanted to kind of get a vibe and kind of feel for what I liked, you know, on the upgrades and not. And I wasn't sure about the seat at first, because I really did like the seat. Now, on the 42-inch mowers, you see you got a really low back. On the 50-inch models, they used to have a plush seat, a seat with armrests. To be honest, I like that seat ever so slightly more than this, but it seems like the more and more I've gotten around the seat, it's kind of grown on me, because I do like the fact that it kind of hugs your body in different spots. And no, it doesn't come with armrests, but you can get them as an upgrade. Another thing that you can get as an upgrade that I wish Toro would make a standard is an hour meter. If you look here and how I press my finger, there's a little bit of an indentation in this spot, and this is where you can cut with a knife. Put an hour meter. It's a simple plug and play. That's something I highly recommend you do if you're looking to get a Toro Time Cutter. Now, out of all the mowers that Toro sells, I think the Toro Time Cutter is the best value that they have. This is Toro's bread and butter. What makes it such a good value? When you're looking at a mower, you got to look at the two most important components on that machine, the engine and the transmission. Now, this mower right here, the most popular mower that they sell, has a transmission made by Hydro Gear. Hydro Gear makes transmissions for a lot of different companies. Hydro Gear starts a transmission at a ZT 2100 series, and it goes all the way up to a ZT 5400 series. 95% of these Toro zero-turn mowers have Hydro Gear transmissions, and it starts right over there. It starts at a ZT 2100 transmission, right? So what does that mean? That's the speed, that's how fast your lawnmower goes. If we go up just a little bit here to this 50-inch model, and also the 54-inch model that we'll talk about next, it's got a ZT 2200 transmission. What does that mean? It's gonna go ever so slightly faster than this machine over here. It's also gonna hold up on hills ever so slightly better. It's definitely not the mower I would get if I've got a really hilly terrain, because transmissions give you speed. They also give you longevity if you are on hilly properties. So this is still, in my mind, a smaller size transmission, and part of why this mower is rated for 500 to 1,000 hours. Very much dependent on what type of property you have, how undulated it is, and so forth. Now, the other thing that's really important is the engine. Now, you look at a mower like this, and this is where Toro starts the entire lineup. This is the most affordable mower you can get. This is $29.99. So a zero turn under $3,000, not very easy to come by in this day and age. What gets the price so far down on this Toro? It's a lot of the components I talked about, like the seat. Certainly the deck is a piece to that. This is called a stamp deck. It's actually rare that you'll see a zero turn with a stamp deck. It's almost more of a standard now that you see a fabricated deck. Now, what do I mean by that? This has a curled, kind of a lipped edge. So this is a thin enough piece of steel that it can go through these monstrously large machine and stamp, why they call it stamp this figure into the deck. And so it's thin enough that it can do that in a press. If you look at the difference with this mower right here, this is a fabricated deck. Now, fabricated deck, you're gonna see it's kind of got more of a squared off edge, and it's also got an extra piece of reinforcement here with steel. So this is definitely a heavier duty deck. If you bump into something, this is gonna hold up significantly better. And then the engine. This is about as simple as an engine can possibly get. This one's made by Briggs & Stratton. This is a 15.5 horsepower single cylinder engine, okay? But if you jump up to this Toro time cutter, they have a Kawasaki. This is a twin cylinder engine. It's got 2 cylinders. It's also a 23 horsepower. Now, Toro's gonna give you different engine options. These are just the 2 that I've shown you here, but definitely a significantly better engine right here in this class. Now, this right here is where I think you're gonna see Toro absolutely shine. I think this is Toro's bread and butter. This is what's gained them a lot of market share, and it's this MyRide system. Now, this one happens to be a 54-inch time cutter MyRide Havoc edition. Whenever Toro throws the word Havoc on stuff, they kind of bling it up. They make it look a little bit cooler. So this has the all black finish, looks really nice. We've actually thrown a couple accessories on this one as well. So we've added this grab handle, kind of nice what they do here. So if you're trying to get on and off the mower, Toro does just a multitude of different accessories. This is a nice one in the fact that I can grab up here, I can step on the deck. It makes it easier to get on and off. I think especially if you're getting the MyRide, this is a system that you may not be used to. And look, it's almost like I'm on a recliner. I can just imagine going to the beach right now every single time that I mow my lawn. I mean, how cool is that right there? So I think this is the absolute best ride in the industry in this class of mower. So there are things I love about the MyRide system. There's things that I don't love about the MyRide system. What do I love about this? I mean, number one, I can adjust this. Why do they call it the MyRide? To exactly what I want. So I can move this seat. I can move this seat forward, backwards. Me being a bigger guy, I want to have it all the way back. And then right here, I can adjust and I can go way back. But you're gonna find a spot, probably somewhere towards the middle, that's this optimal comfort zone. So what do I like about this? This Toro time cutter, when you've got these transmissions, right? This ZT 2200 class, you can also get a time cutter in a 60-inch, where they're gonna jump you up to a ZT 2800, a little bit bigger, okay? But if you're in that class of mower, if you're under that 3,000 range, you're not gonna be moving nearly as fast as if you're on one of those big bad commercial mowers over there. What will happen when you're going across the terrain on a mower at this speed? You're gonna see a little bit of a rocking sensation, and it's gonna feel like you're on an absolute cloud. There's really no better ride in the industry if you were looking to buy a mower in this class right here, okay? But what could be a problem if you go up into the Z Master class, or these mowers that are going really fast? If you're shooting across the lawn incredibly fast, what can happen with this MyRide system? Imagine going back and forth, but I hit a big bump. And you can see right there, that system can bottom out. Not something I have any sort of concern on this time cutter class. Not as much of a concern on the Titan class. If you get the MyRide system in the Z Master class, if you have moderately bumpy lawn, I think it's incredible. If you have an incredibly bumpy lawn, I actually would not get the MyRide system. So it really depends on your property, right? I can always point to a mower that's right for one person and not right for another. So always keep that in mind. If you're in this class right here, saddle up, baby, because I think this is the best ride in the industry. So we're gonna go over here. And I did a video we got him, before we get over to the Titan class, I did a video on this electric time cutter, something that was new last year. And we did a video, you can check that out. We probably got it somewhere in the description. You can take a look. I did this review, this very interesting mower that, you know, is completely electric and makes no sound at all. Kind of incredible. This mower is actually running right now. So just wild technology that Toro has come up with, and you're starting to see that in the industry. And I've gotten a lot of questions in this video. What do you think after you've sold some of these? What do you think about this mower? Tell me, do you still have this opinion that it's the greatest thing in the world? Because I'm really big on electric stuff, if you guys have seen the channel. And you want to know what? You want to know my honest opinion? I can't give it to you because I can't sell this darn mower here. Nobody wants to buy this electric mower. California, please buy a mower from me. If you live out in California, I will ship this to you. I'll try to sell it to you at cost. Somebody take this off my hands because it's so funny, right? I think the technology's there, but the reality is rural America, they are not buying into this machine right here. Do I believe in this machine? I do for a smaller property, but you're gonna be spending significantly more money to get into this at an $8,000 price point versus you could spend more like $4,000 and get something really solid with gas, right? So some early adopters, you know, up in this Michigan region or surrounding areas, they may wanna buy this machine, okay? But I sold hundreds of mowers. I sold over 300 brand new mowers last year, helped me get to 500, 1,000 this year, and nobody wanted to take this mower off my hands. So I can't give you an opinion, that's the reality. Hey, I stocked one because I wanted to see what you guys thought, and the reality is I think this is a cool mower, but nobody else wants it, okay? So please, someone buy it from me. Okay, let's move over to the Toro Titans. Now, as I walk past this lineup right here, this is getting to a just significantly beefier frame by Toro. And I talked to you before, 500 to 1,000 hours, that's what you can expect. Why do I say that? Because that's the longevity of the transmission, the engines, you know, on the property that might be suitable for that machine. So what are we gonna see over here? You're gonna see more like 800 to 1,400 hours when you get to this Toro Titan class. So let's start at the very first one. What makes the Toro Titan unique? Let's start with those really big components I talked to you about that are the most important things on the machine, the transmissions. These have ZT 2800 transmissions, again, made by Hydro Gear. But if you look at this very first class of mower, this is nearly the exact same engine that we saw on the Time Cutter series. Only difference being this being 1 horsepower more. People love that Kawasaki engine, so I don't really love that it's got a Kawasaki. But you're gonna start to see more open components in here, okay? Toro's gonna keep the gas tank really centralized, gonna help hold a hill a little bit better with that central weight. But Toro's just in general in this new era, this new design of their mowers, really made things open. The compartment to be able to work on these machines is so much more open than it used to be. You know, just really impressed by that. But again, I'm gonna come back to the seat. If I think the Toros of the last era, I think of a nice plush seat, I think of armrests, and again, Toro, you disappointed me just a little bit. Not the end of the world if you're watching, because you again can add armrests onto here. But there's something about that really plush seat that I really liked from those Toros of the past. But it's almost, to me, when I'm starting to get into this price point, I'm really considering buying something with a suspension seat upgrade. And I'll tell you, on almost all of these mowers, you can always get a nice suspension seat in place of one of these. And so the fact that it starts here, not the end of the world, because you can always add the armrest, right? You can always add a suspension seat. That's something I might consider if I was going into this Titan class. Now the deck, you're gonna notice, again, I talked about these components being heavier duty, right? You see this nice, big I-beam construction. But if I move all the way down to the deck, this is where it's starting to resemble what Toro is best known for, their quality of cut. They have this bull-nosed edge, one of the only companies that has this exact type style deck, this bull-nosed edge. It's a thicker gauge steel, okay? And you can just see that this is heavier duty than it used to be before. So I really like that. And I like the fact that, think of how heavy duty that is if that's to bump into anything with that bull-nosed edge. Just like that Time Cutter series, things that have upgraded. They're giving you access right here to the deck. So a nice heavy duty piece. They're giving you these rubber mats, so it's a little bit nicer, a little more grip as you get on and off the mower. And again, just like the other class, tons of different accessories you could potentially add. And again, can you get the MyRide system? Yes, you can. Now, does the MyRide system come standard with these armrests? No, I just wanted to upgrade one of these so you guys got to see exactly what that looked like. But let me go ahead and get up here. And again, I can adjust. I can set this to wherever I want, to that comfort that is right for me, my ride, right? And so that's the same sort of thing. Again, things that they have upgraded here. You got the adjustable arms that you can move forward or backwards. One thing that I love that they did when you get to the Titan class is they're giving you far more cutting options. They've given you 1/4 inch increments. They're going all the way up to 5.5, but I can set this to wherever I want, right? I can set it to 2.5, or I can set it to 2 3/4, and then it will, with this flip right here, drop it to that height. This little piece right here goes unnoticed sometimes. So what's really nice is if I press this up, it takes me to a deck transport position. Notice my hands didn't touch anything. Let me show you that again. So I'm gonna press this up, I'm gonna push it forward, and it drops it to my desired height. So imagine I'm cutting the lawn and there's something in my way, and I just kind of pop it up above that. Let's say I'm done cutting and I want to zip across the yard, I want to get onto a trailer. What I'm going to do is just press this up and it locks it in the upright position, okay, a transport position. And that's really nice if I'm trying to get on and off a trailer to just hands-free be able to pop it up to that top level. And again, I'm just showing you guys a few mowers from each class, and these are just different engine options you can get. So they also give you a Kohler engine option, 26 horsepower. Now, I showed you a Briggs engine, I showed you Kawasaki, now I'm talking Kohler. If the engines are something you're really trying to figure out, again, check this video out. The link is in the description. We've done a whole video about everything you need to know if you're looking at different engine options. Now, this mower right here, the Toro Titan Max, this is why I've sort of made the theme of this video the new era of Toro, because this is the very last mower to round out this new era. Toro has adopted the look, okay? They've went for the style. This is the day and age that people want to feel cool on their riding lawnmower, and they've changed their complete styling to fit what that is. The Toro Titan Max of last year didn't have this big I-beam frame. It didn't have the components that you're looking at right now, and now it matches everything you've seen, because what Toro's done over the last 3, 5, 6 years is they've went over to this style, and they've really done a great job to fit in with what this industry trend has become. So we've mentioned a lot of things that are different in this Titan class. Now, one thing I didn't mention that you might have noticed before is you get a nice thick rubber heavy duty flap, and that's gonna remain the same whether you get a regular Titan or a Titan Max. A lot of the components that you saw before, the same thing. Now, the Titan Max will come standard with these armrests, so it's nice that they're doing that on the Max. One thing that's upgraded on the Max is you look right down here. They've made it a standard to have this LED light, so you guys that are working late at night, or gals that are working late at night, you can absolutely do that and get a little more visibility. Okay, some other subtle differences that are different from the regular Titans to the Titan Max. There's more cushion on the Titan Max. If I flip this up, it's got a little bit of a different piece back here. If you look at this piece holding it up and the springs that are on there, and we just jump back real quick, it's just not nearly as heavy duty, I don't think, compared to what you saw. So you're naturally getting more suspension on that Toro Titan Max. Another thing, and something that I think is the most significant difference on this machine, I've been talking about transmissions, this has a ZT 3100 transmission. And once you get above that 3000 level, you're getting a really sturdy, heavy duty transmission. This is sort of that standard. Now, I talk about different mowers, and I talk about the standard of the transmission that you should get. And why is that so important? You know, it's important because it's how fast your mower is going. It's important if you have a hilly property. But one thing that I have not mentioned enough with Toro is, think about a ZT 3100 transmission. Can you compare this ZT 3100 transmission to other brands that are out there? You know what's really funny is, in my shop, we've been here the last 3-4 years, and you know how many transmissions I've replaced in this class right here? ZT 2800 transmissions or ZT 3100 transmissions. I can maybe think of a couple of transmissions in this class that I've seen go bad. I've seen a number in the Toro Time Cutter class go bad. But in other brands, I'll admit, I've seen a lot more ZT 2800 and ZT 3100 transmissions that I've had to replace. So what does that mean? It's not always as simple as looking at the raw specs of a machine and knowing what level of transmission. Toro's been in this game since 1914. And what does that mean for you? What does that mean for you, the consumer? There's engineering behind it. Toro's bought out multiple different companies, right? They're designing these so that it holds up better than a lot of different machines. It's not as simple as looking at this transmission and others. Another thing with Toro is you don't always see the biggest engine options. But again, I don't see as many failures. And it's because Toro has engineering. They've shaped everything a certain way. And it's because of all the history, all the different engineering components they've gotten from other companies. So keep that in mind as you compare these to other different brands. One other thing with Toro, because they've been in the game so long, you're gonna see better warranties, right? You go into Toro time cutter class, 3-year warranties. 3-year warranties. You get to this Titan Max and you got a 4-year warranty, right? That's a really good warranty in this business at that price point. Can you guys see the passion that I've got for these mowers? Why did this passion start? It started with buying and selling used equipment to the point we've got to this location. And who did we land first? It was Toro. I believe in this product. They've done such a good job for us, for the consumers, everyone that's been involved, and this is a mower that you can trust. Now, who else do I think you can trust? I think you can trust us here at Howe Equipment. We delivered a mower last week all the way out to Arizona. We're delivering mowers across the country, but I'll tell you what, it doesn't make as much sense for us to go across the country with those time cutter mowers. It doesn't make quite as much sense to do that. Now, if you're a local shopper, if you can come see us, we're creating a destination here at Howe Equipment. Come and see us. Come get a Toro time cutter. Come get a Titan, maybe the Titan Max. But when you get into the commercial class of Toro, that's when we can, for very affordable prices, get you this mower, get it right in your hand. So keep that in mind. If you guys see one of these Z Masters and you're like, I want to buy from Howe Equipment, give us a call. We'll give you a quote. We got a very standardized, we can give you that quote right away, and we would love to get a mower in your backyard, whether you're in Jackson, Michigan, or Tucson, Arizona. So without further ado, let's talk about that Z Master class. And for me, I love the Z Master class because it's what I know about mowers. It's the transmissions that I'm finally getting at this level. We're still in the hydro gear class, but this has a ZT 3400 transmission. When you're getting to this level of transmission, these things zip across the lawn so darn fast, right? So if you've got larger acreage, this is the way to go. And they got 3 different levels within the Z Master series. They've got a 2000 series, they have a 4000 series, and they actually have a 5 and 6000 series. The 5 and 6000 series look very similar to this right here, and we'll talk about that one last. Let's start with this 2000 series. Who would buy a 2000 series Z Master, and what is that sort of hour count you might expect? This is one that's gonna be more like 1,000 to 2,000 hours right here. Who's gonna buy that? This could be a commercial cutter, probably someone who's just kind of freshly getting into the industry. Who else is buying this? Probably a homeowner with really big acreage. If you're a homeowner with really big acreage, I don't know how much sense it makes to buy the 4 and the 6000 series. I think right here, you're gonna have something that's plenty suitable for your needs. And again, you look, they give you a MyRide option. Can you get a 2000 series without the MyRide? Absolutely. Can you get different engine options? Absolutely. This right here is a very popular one. Why is this so popular? Number one, it's got the MyRide. It's got that nice plush seat that I like, and it's got the coveted Kawasaki engine. And what do you get when you get to commercial grade? You're getting this large air canister filter, and this is truly a high-level commercial grade mower. Everyone loves a good Kawasaki engine. This is an awesome mower to consider if you're a homeowner with a large acreage or you're an entry-level commercial cutter. Now, one thing I didn't mention is I talked about these different levels of machines, right? I talked about the ZT 2800 transmissions, and now we're up to a ZT 3400 transmission. When you went back to the ZT 2800 transmission, it becomes serviceable. And what does that mean? Why is it important? There's filters on the transmission. Let's poke our head under here so you guys can see what I mean. So I've been talking about the transmissions, here they are. This is a ZT 3400 transmission. You can see right there, it's a hydro gear and it says commercial ZT 3400 transmission. Now what this cover is hiding right here is a filter. Right behind this, there's a filter. You can unscrew it, the oil can come out of it, and you can put fresh in. So you guys know how important that is on an actual engine. Same thing on a transmission. If you can update those fluids so it doesn't get grimy, nasty, it's gonna last that much longer. And when you get to a serviceable transmission, that's really important for the longevity of that machine. Now what Toro did on the decks at this level is they give you this turbo force deck, and they've given you a new turbo force deck. This is what Toro's bread and butter, I told you, it's what they're known for, that quality of cut. You're getting a 7-gauge steel, significantly heavier duty. They give you this laser cutout. They've got a different sort of a bull-nosed edge. Once we get up to the 6000 series, I'm gonna show you what the traditional deck has looked like. But this is still just a new updated design, really heavy duty. They've got the total look. They've done some new things, kind of giving you that bull etching. Again, the style that Toro's been doing. What is cool about this one in particular compared to the one below it is it's got that My Ride system, okay? So same sort of idea. I can step up here and I've got this, but remember, this mower can go significantly faster. So imagine if you're zipping across the lawn and there's this monstrous bump, there's a little bit better chance that you could bottom out, okay? So be aware of that. If you've got a crazy bumpy property, I would really probably go with something with just a nice air ride seat instead, okay? But if you're in a moderately bumpy yard, this is amazing. Now, what's nice about this My Ride system that you didn't get before, I didn't really talk about it, but these systems right here, there's no way that you can access the deck. But what they give you on this level is under this flap, they're hiding something. You can actually get total access and change that mower deck belt. So that's really nice that they're giving that to you. A little bit of a different way that they adjust this back here. You can move the My Ride to one of 5 different settings, and the adjustment is right back here. And another thing that I really haven't talked about a whole lot, you know, the tire tread options have gotten significantly different. This Voodoo tire, just a tire that kind of has this more mean, aggressive look. They've changed a lot of different things, you know, from the standard Carlisle to the point where they've given you these all-terrain type tires, this being no different. Now, kind of a pro and con, does it look cooler? Yes. I technically like the Carlisle tire. We're gonna talk about that at the next level a little bit more. But there's so much to love about what Toro has done in this new 2000 series design. Between the style and the functionality they give you, Toro has definitely hit the nail on the head here. Now, of course, I'm always gonna keep it real with you. They hit the nail on the head. What are some little things I wish at this price point would be a little bit different? I wish it would come standard with armrests. I wish they would do that, right? Just like I wish that there was an hour meter standard even in that class. And what else do I wish that these had? When I'm spending this much money, yes, you got a serviceable transmission. You got serviceable transmissions back here. But if we jump up one class, I'll be able to explain this a little bit more. They're giving you an easier to service transmission. If you look right here on what their 4000 series is, they give you a external reservoir. So yes, you can change the transmission fluid in the others, but you actually have to hook a tube up to the top of that transmission to get fluid to go into it. This is significantly easier, right? You can pull the filters on this 4000 series and you can fill it right in this spot. It makes it a lot easier that you don't have to kind of reach in the nooks and the crannies and get a tube on top of there. You might not be the one to service that. You might be taking that to your dealer, right? So it kind of depends on if you're the one doing that yourself. Definitely a little bit easier on the 4000 series. But again, let's poke our head underneath this machine. Now, if you look right here, this right here is the biggest and the baddest hydro gear transmission you can get. This is a ZT 5400 transmission. These babies are absolutely massive and they make you scream across the lawn. On a 4000 series mower, we're gonna pop up here, getting old. Been doing these videos for 4 years, right? On a 4000 series mower, you can get their HDX Pro XL, and that will give you the ZT 5400 transmissions. You can also get a ZT 4400. Both of these transmissions are incredibly fast, incredibly high level, but that's one thing you're gonna gain when you jump up to this 4000. Another thing, just the horsepower over there was closer to 24 horsepower. Now we're getting above 30 horsepower. This is an FX 1000. All sorts of different engine options, right? You can get a fuel injected Kohler. You get all sorts of different engine options. This big block Kawasaki, I really like it. Now let's take a look at the front of this 4000 series. So again, they've given you some cool factor elements going on. Now, what's really cool about this, the new era of Toro, I say that really probably started a few years ago, and it was right here with this 4000 series. They gave you the ultimate cool factor. They brought the price down from the 5 and 6000 series mowers. This class that we'll get to next, that's for that commercial, more municipal, high level, you got a fleet of mowers, right? This right here is for tons and tons of commercial guys. You don't need to spend as much money as when you get up to the 6000 series. That's a certain type of person that's going to buy the 5 and 6000 series. This 4000 series opened up the avenue for a lot of different companies that it just makes a lot more sense from a price point perspective. And I talked about the tires in the class below this. Look at how monstrously large these, even compared to the mower class that's above it, they give you just some monster tires, and these are Carlisles, which I really like. They just don't damage the lawn quite as much. Who doesn't want this big of a tire for traction, for all those sorts of things? This is a great tire they're giving you on the 4000 series. And before I move up in class, we talked about a 2000 series with the MyRide, right? You can get a 4000 series with the MyRide. You can also get a 2000 series without the MyRide. When you don't get the MyRide in this class of mower, you're going to get a nice air dial seat. This does more for you than you can possibly imagine. Toro runs fixed frames unless you're getting the MyRide. When you get a fixed frame with an air dial seat, it completely changes the game. Now these are expensive seats. These seats can go on the Titan class. They could go on the Time Cutter class. I just think they would be a little bit oversized for it, right? So just understand, you can get this exact seat upgrade on any of the other mowers before this, and it makes an incredible difference. If I sit on this, it's got a different setting, you know, whether you're 100 pounds or you're 250 pounds like me, you can dial this to wherever you want it. And so right now, you guys are gonna figure out exactly how much I weigh. Let's see here. So I think I'm right here, 250. I probably should get down to that Matt Howe college basketball profile to 235. So I'm gonna go wishful thinking here. We'll put it at 235. Don't laugh at me, okay? Don't laugh at that, Ian, okay? But anyway, right here, this is set for me, and it's gonna give me a little more strength than someone who's 100 pounds, but how nice is that you get that adjustability? Now, one thing that's awesome here is the adjustability. Now, one thing when I go to the class above is just something that takes it to a whole nother level, and that's where we're gonna talk about the Toro 6000 series. Now, who is Toro, right? Toro is known as the epitome of reliability, the test of time, tradition. And this is why I love the fact that they have kept their 5000 and 6000 series mowers in the lineup, because this frame right here has been the same frame since 2010. And it's a great frame. And I don't think they should change a thing. I think they should keep making this machine. The reality is this is a crazy expensive mower, but there are so many things that are amazing. This is not for everyone. This is absolutely for someone who has a fleet of mowers. This is absolutely for a municipality, right? Because these mowers, we talked about how long can they last. This is like a 2,000 to 5,000 hour machine if maintained the right way. So yeah, are you spending 4 times more as if you go over there? Yes. But is it gonna last 4 times more? Yes, it will. Would I like to spend 4 times the money if it lasts 4 times as long? Well, you might say, well, I could just buy 4 of those, repeated, right? Well, okay, but you're gonna go about a quarter of the speed of this as well, right? So wouldn't you rather have the speed and have it be a one-time upfront cost? Absolutely. And you're talking about 4-year warranties, and then you get up to 5-year warranties up in this class right here. A 5-year warranty. Now, if you come to Howe Equipment and you get a machine, you're using it for commercial use, you're gonna get 0 downtime. Meaning if that machine goes down during your warranty period, we're gonna give you a mower for no cost whatsoever. All you gotta do is bring it here and we get you another mower in its place. So if I'm shopping at Howe Equipment, man, do these mowers appeal to me with this longevity, with the warranty that comes with the fact that it's a Toro. But I got a little sidetracked because I got excited once I saw the 6000 series. I was talking about the seat, right? And this seat, it's a very similar design, a little bit of a different cushion, a little more to the armrest right here. But the magic of the seat on the 5 and 6000 series, you gotta look a little bit closer at the machine to see. And it's right here. It's got some rubber puck isolators. Look what happens. I'm gonna grab the top of this while you're looking at this right now. And look what happens on that seat. And this is what happens when you're mowing all the time, and it's absorbing you very subtly. So now watch me when I'm sitting on the machine, and imagine these just small little differences in the lawn, and you can see these rubber isolators absorbing me. So definitely a game changer when you get to the 5 and 6,000 series machines. Now another difference when you look at this compared to the class below is this machine sits a little bit lower. Now, why does that matter? I think this is gonna hold a hill significantly better. I've got a commercial guy that's kind of bought both of these from me, and he really swears by this being his hillside mowing machine, and it's because it sits lower to the ground. And you're gonna get some of the same great things that you've had. You're gonna grab the accessibility right here to be able to change a deck belt, and you're gonna get what I think is their absolute best deck. This, to me, when I think of a turbo force deck, this right here is the deck. This is that traditional bull-nosed edge. I like this. I would prefer that Toro puts this deck on all their machines because I just think it's the epitome of the best quality of cut in the industry. Toro, unlike other companies, also gives you 3 different baffle levels. I can actually unscrew this and I can move this to different settings depending on if it's really dry conditions or really wet, and it's going to change how it kicks. So look down the way here. So look what happens when I move this back and forth, and it changes how it's going to disperse that grass in there. So really nice that they give you the adjustability, and look how easy that was to change. So this deck system is a system that they've been doing since 2010, right? But if I press this up, I'm going to go ahead and set this to like 2.5. So I get this set to 2.5. I'm going to go ahead and unlock this right here, and it drops the deck height. Now look what's really nice about how they're protecting their spindles here. Look at how easy this is to remove. So if you've got a blower, you can blow this out extremely easy, and then I can put it right back in place. That is really slick how that system is on the 5 and 6,000 series machines. They also do that on the 4 and the 2, so I didn't mention that. What a nice thing that Toro does at their commercial class. Now you want to think of the total weight of the machine, you want to think of the total length of the machine. Toro has packed a lot into a little package. If you look, this has the 37 horse Vanguard oil guard system, and this thing is absolutely packed. I can barely get in here to work on it. So pros and cons, right? It's a big advantage out in the field if you have a more compact machine that holds a hill better versus something that's really long, bulky. This takes up significantly less trailer space. So there's advantages and there's definitely disadvantages to this, because the accessibility, you don't get nearly as good accessibility. And looking at something like this, if I move the seat up, everything is just jam-packed in here, okay? Again, pros and cons, because everything is a little bit harder to work on, but they've done it very purposely. And the reason they're doing this is for all the reasons that I've just said. Now, what is unique about this compared to every other mower we talked about? It's the transmission, and we're seeing the very top of it. This is a 16cc pump and wheel motor setup. Keep that in mind. You're getting the best of the best transmissions. You're getting a 1,400 hour limit warranty on these transmissions, and they're zippy fast. They're incredibly smooth. Very high-end transmission right here in the 5 and 6,000 series mowers. So with that being said, you can take a breath because I'm a little bit out of breath, but I really mean what I said. If you are looking to buy a mower, we would love to help you. We're trying to pride ourselves on world-class customer service, great products, and a great value. Why were we able to deliver a mower out to Arizona? It's because of the value that we're providing to you, and we'd love to do that for someone who's watching right now, right? So give us a call. We'd love to help you, but if not, and it makes sense to go with someone more local, I hope that this just simply helped you. We're trying to put goodwill out there, right? We're trying to help people, and if we've done that, hit the like button, and then definitely check out the next video that we think would be best for you right here.